Ahoy, landlubbers! It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking, and also a ho ho ho. It's the last stream of the season and of the year. We're going to round out 2023 with a possible double feature time. We're going to start off with Rain Code, as the primary reason for this final stream is to see if we can hit a good stopping point, because there'll be a little bit of a break before we pick up in the new year. And these cases are hard enough to track when you played them a week ago. I wonder if my experience with Raincoat would be dramatically different if I just played it like straight through over the course of a few weeks. That might be true. I don't think it'd be a huge difference, but it might make some difference. Anyway, let's recap, and there's gonna be some spoilers because we're in a weird place. We are on, is this our fourth mystery labyrinth? Is that how that works? Train, Nailman, the high school case, the terrorist incident / bank robbery. I guess we're on the fifth one. We're investigating the murder of one Dr. Weska. There was a death threat made not exactly to him. It was sent to everyone. And after investigating the series of like infallible death traps that he created to keep himself safe in his laboratory, we managed to determine by process of elimination that the culprit did not actually circumvent the death traps. They breathed in some poison gas, which is like very difficult to. There's no like antidote or filtration system that like stops you from dying if you are exposed to it. But it is slow acting, and so they just decided that they were going to tank the hit and kill the target. But once we had sort of worked out those details, it became really rapidly clear who the culprit was, because only one other person died at the scene, and that was our boss, Yakko Furio. And the game really wants us to think that this is like a huge betrayal and that he was like the one person we trusted, and that would be cool. I don't think we set up for that to hit as hard as the game thinks it will. It's still like a pretty good twist. I'm not trying to sell the game short, but like I do feel like the emotion would have hit a little bit harder if Yakko as a character hadn't been kind of distant, really, for most of the game. Because like he mostly, when he interacts with our character, Yuma, that he's mostly just sort of like, please don't solve mysteries that get me in trouble, and I don't like trouble. Okay, thank you. And then trouble happens. He's like, I told you not to. And then like bad times happen and someone other than Yakko solves it. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't get the vibe the game wants me to have. But that's a real long story short situation as to what we did in the Mystery Labyrinth. There's a lot of like trying to figure out what method someone could use to get into the super protected office or survive and all that. And ultimately it led us there. And right towards the end of the last stream, we did like most of the stuff we do at the end of a Mystery Labyrinth. We sort of reaped his soul, and then like we found that like we weren't immediately ejected from the labyrinth. And Shinigami was basically like, well, that's pretty weird. The only reason I could think that might happen is if there's more mysteries in this labyrinth. And my strong suspicion at this point is, despite confirming that Yakko was the one who killed Dr. Weska, we have no earthly idea why, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And there's a few other hang-ups relating to that. Most namely that he went out of his way to like, you know, in fiction there's often like the dying message or someone like writes a name in blood or something like that. We had sort of an equivalent where Yakko sort of just tried to make it seem like an assassin killed this guy, and it's like, if you were willing to die to do it, I'm not totally sure what the point of concealing that was. It doesn't seem to change anything that's obvious to me. So I think my guess is that those are like the two biggest things to figure out. I'm not sure if we'll touch on both of them or if one thing will address both of them, but we'll go ahead and try. And this better be working. I was having some technical issues with this, but it's fine. Figured it out. We need to get like a new USB 3 splitter or something. Probably should have thought of that earlier. Might make my life easier, having some issues with it recently, but we've worked around it for now. Let's play Raincode. Raincode, go. Continue. I've actually been using my Switch for something other than stream games. Not like a lot, but like a while back, I had intended to stream like Pokemon Shining Pearl, and like no one was into it, and then I kind of just like didn't make time for it. And then lately I've been in a Pokemon mood, and I'm like, you know what? I still got a perfectly good Pokemon game I never played, so I've been doing that just a little bit. I haven't had very, very much time for it. Kerploob. I don't know why that's the sound effect.
Oh, it's a secret dungeon!
What was the Gumshoe Gab option? The Gumshoe Gab is there are collectible things that you can find in the world that open up little cutscenes with the characters. Last week, someone, I want to say Anime, was suggesting that the characterization that makes us care about the betrayal of Yakko might come from there. I'm skeptical of this. I don't think I have all of any characters' trophy things, whatever the collectibles are. So it would be hard for me to say for sure without, like, looking them up on YouTube or something. But, I don't know. I think I've watched about half of all the ones available for each character. And, like, they're pretty disjointed from my experience. I would be really surprised if the last ones were suddenly like, oh my god, like a really strong character connection.
The labyrinth must be breaking down so slowly because the identity of the culprit isn't the only mystery.
By the way, shh, secret dungeon? Everyone, secret dungeon?
It's still definitely coming down, so you better hurry, Master!
Now, was it really necessary to, like, make a magical downward entry? There's, like, a big glowing portal that I don't think that's where we came from. That ostensibly leads somewhere we haven't been.
Yuma, I'll follow you to the end until you reach the truth.
Thank you.
That lantern feels weird. That first one seems weirder because it's pink and all the subsequent ones are yellow. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dungeon. I don't know why I had to, like, hit the go button on that. Normally the doorways just kind of work in the mystery labyrinth, don't they?
Do you regret this?
Oh, it's black and white. Nah, I'm cool.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Nah, I'm good, though.
I've been thinking.
Oh, that's...
Remember what the Chief's soul said?
That's not great.
If you keep that in mind while knowing who the true culprit is, doesn't it seem like he wanted you to find the truth?
But if he wanted me to find the truth, then why did he...
was the culprit himself.
Why would he have concealed the fact that he did it
there's a hidden
the way he
truth
did?
Behind this case, and the Chief wanted us to find it.
There could be some anonymous person involved.
It's a weird
If
jump,
Anonymous
but...
is part of this case. They must have a motive for killing Dr. Weska as well. The doctor knew about the secret dealings.
How about
He was
that?
planning to flee from Kanai Ward by himself, after all.
Oh, they're referring to
be
Anonymous as, like, specifically the
Anonymous
email
took
guy, not just
advantage
an
of Chief
anonymous
Yakko
person.
by instigating him to commit murder?
Yes. It's unlikely the Chief just happened to kill Dr. Weska right as he was planning to flee.
If that's true, Anonymous isn't just involved in the case. They could be the mastermind, the Grey Eminence.
Gray's my 13th favorite color!
That's so specific.
Why are you telling me that now?
Why are you telling me that now? Is it because we're in a grayscale hallway and you're excited about it to the 13th degree?
Is already solved.
That seems bad. That seems like a bad villain voice for not good things to happen. The anonymous internet group. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say for sure. Like, some of the earlier stuff felt like it was pointing at Makoto being involved, but, like, a lot of that ended up sort of being refuted by the truth of what we've established in the case so far. It does seem, however, that Makoto is the most likely person to want someone to kill the doctor. To me, it seems most likely based on that photo that I still... In the Mystery Labyrinth, you so rarely have the ability to, like, genuine pause and, like, look at your inventory. It's a touch annoying at times. But, like, there was, like, a photo of a girl and, like, a blood splotch because that was, like, the dying message from Yakko is that he like used his own blood to like cover up his face in a photo that supposedly the assassin left behind when he hired the assassin to kill him. It's convoluted, don't get me wrong. But it was like a photo of him and like a woman, and like I have to assume the motive has something to do with that woman, like it's his love interest or wife or daughter or something. I don't know when that photo was taken, so it's hard for me to gauge exactly what her age might be relative to his, because I don't know. I guess we did see the like Labyrinth like corrected the blood stain and it kind of looked like him current, so it's more likely to be a love interest because she seemed like an adult woman. I don't know.
All these crimes were committed by Yakko on his own.
Unclear to me if that capital W is a typo or if it's meant to indicate spooky voice. None of the other letters are doing that though.
Now, get out of here.
I'm assuming intentional because of that, but again, it's weirdly inconsistent.
What was that voice?
Someone's trying to stop us from solving this mystery.
Actually, that was just my indigestion. I
Now
apologize.
we know. The mastermind is somewhere within this labyrinth.
Get out.
Seems like it would have been in the best interest of the shadowy voice not to address us at all, huh?
Get out. 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 Get out.
It's a solid escalation. It's hard, I think, when a voice is that modulated to get like a human-sounding emotion, but I feel like those consecutive reads give the sense of building intensity. That's nice.
This guy? Creepy!
We can't let this stop us. There's one more truth still hidden here. We have to find it. We need to know why the chief committed this crime.
Right. We'll figure this out.
Oh, that's our... We're gonna do a reasoning deathmatch, huh? I kinda wasn't expecting that. We've never fought like a static human figure. It's always like someone we already know in like monster form, a la like Power Rangers. Maybe it's more akin to Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon had like story arcs where like humans were like possessed by weird magic and like changed form.
Solved.
So in this time-wasting minigame, I'm supposed to like attack a blue word that's wrong.
Get out.
Oh, that was narrow. How was I supposed to dodge that?
Go away.
So I could hit any of those then? So many self-serving arguments. It's your powers of deduction to repel the contradict. Doesn't he just say the case is solved twice? I really feel I dislike these in particular among the reasoning death matches, because like you don't even use logic, you just
Solved.
That claim doesn't hold up.
okay, attack the static. Use magic missile to attack the darkness.
No, it still isn't solved yet. I will discover who the mastermind is.
Ghost.
I will solve every mystery. I will not turn away from the truth.
We have to murder all mysteries. It's our mission statement.
Yuck.
Okay, hold on. What do we got here? According to Vivi's investigation, there's never been a case where Fink the Slaughter Artist issued a death threat. The lab... I don't know what the heck we're supposed to get from the lab map. I really don't. It's supposed to be a top secret file, but was found hidden behind a houseplant. A knife with the letter F inscribed on it appears to be the murder weapon used on Dr. Huesca, and was also used on Yakko. I feel like death threat's gonna be the one that's useful to me here.
Goes the culprit. Everything was plotted by Yakko alone.
Oh.
He hired Fink the Slaughter Artist. He prepared the murder weapon. He even
Okay.
killed the doctor!
Oh, I think that's the one I'm supposed to contradict, but I didn't have time to, like, switch everything and not get hit.
So what about this Anonymous? Even if they did, you'll never
hate the
find out
jumping
who they
ones.
are! There is nothing connecting Yako to Anonymous!
Say,
Just like the creep said Fuzzhead killed the doctor. It's not all there is to this. Someone else is pulling the strings.
that's right.
And look at these again. This is another one of those cases where I feel like a direct contradiction is like going to be really difficult because these are all like really tangential connections to anything. So he says that Yako plotted alone and Yako killed the doctor. He says something about the murder weapon, but the murder weapon we're led to believe that only Fink has Fink brand knives, which means he would have had to be working with Fink in order to have a knife to kill him with a Fink knife, right? Because Fink isn't the killer, we know that. So that must be what we're going for,
Yako's
I think.
the culprit. Everything was plotted by Yako alone. He hired Fink the slaughter artist. He prepared the murder weapon.
No, okay, it doesn't like that.
That's right.
Should be a connection between Chief and Anonymous? Well, you didn't give me one, so I feel like that can't be what I'm doing now. None of these appears to have a connection to Anonymous. We have, like, maybe 2 clues that are connected to Anonymous, assuming that we're using Anonymous as a capital A noun for the person who knows that the doctor wanted to leave the country. State. City-state. Whatever the crap. The ward. The Kanai ward. I don't know what they want.
Yako's the culprit. Everything was plotted by Yako alone. He hired Fink the slaughter artist.
You think that's true?
Weapon.
I don't think this
He
is...
even killed the doctor. Yako
The game already suggests I don't want to look at that.
So what about this Anonymous? Even if they did, you'll never find out who they are. There is nothing connecting Yako.
Okay, the problem is, like, the game is strongly hinting I should counteract this. I should try to rebuttal there is nothing connecting Yako to Anonymous. But none of these clues seem to do that. Is it supposed to be the map? It's not a very good clue. Cause like I understand that the map came from like a locked room that only the head of the Peacekeepers had a key to, but I don't think any of the information available to me has inferred that Anonymous, like, is part of or connected to the Peacekeepers. And even if that were true, I feel like that would be a separate argument to make. That's where it continues to seem like it's the most relevant to taking a step in this case, but it doesn't seem to contradict anything. Let's try
To
this.
Anonymous.
Yeah,
Smash through
okay.
this mystery.
I think I've correctly intuited what the game thinks I'm supposed to think, but I don't think that actually makes any sense.
Chief Yako tried to hide this floor plan along with that photo of himself. It was strange for him to have this in the first place.
Yeah, but like, it's strange for him to have it, but it also doesn't. It's not valuable. It makes it hard for me to like make this seem like it connects to anything, because like it's not like I don't understand what the map does for him.
This is the link between Anonymous and the Chief.
Again, this would only be true if we knew that Anonymous had, like, the Peacekeeper's key, or was a Peacekeeper, or his actual identity as a Peacekeeper. This isn't a good argument.
Kill you in the name of justice. Kill you.
For great justice? Photo keylog. Storage room contains confidential documents, so the door is locked and only... Yeah, that's probably it. Records show this is... No, it's not that. The photo could be relevant, but I assume based on what we just did, storage key is up next.
Kill!
Oh, that's really annoying.
Anonymous doesn't exist! Yako plotted everything!
Think that's
Who
it?
cares about some map?
I agree with you, guy.
Damn thing.
Say,
Okay, I feel like I've fallen victim to the game has decided that's not a direct contradiction, but I feel like the fact that he couldn't have the map proves that he couldn't have done it alone, which at least more or less seems to be the argument they want to make here. Was there something suspicious about the key? Yeah, I just tried that.
Kill!
Ugh.
Anonymous
Timing the first one's
doesn't
really hard.
exist!
If you get the first one, the remaining ones aren't that bad.
Yako plotted everything!
Because it's actually so bad that it's not that bad.
Map? It doesn't prove a damn thing! It has nothing to do with the doctor's murder! This... anyone could find it!
Oh, sure.
This is the truth. The floor plan the Chief had was from the lab's storage.
See, okay, again, much like the issue I had with solving the core of this case, the game is now strongly implying that Yomi Hellsmile is anonymous, which is confusing for multiple reasons, but totally fine. The issue I have is that I feel like this reveal is in, like, reverse order. Like, it seems like the arguments they want me to make presume I already know this, which it's a possibility, but they haven't given almost any information up to the point that we started streaming today that would really give a strong indication that Yomi is anonymous or associated with Anonymous. Like, if they had foreshadowed that in some way, then I could take an educated guess. The only real reason to even think that's possible is because we have a solution key that says he's the only person with a physical key for the records room. But, like, that could be applied in different ways and doesn't necessarily mean that he's anonymous.
But that room was locked. No one could enter it. It was completely sealed off. Only the director of the Peacekeepers had access. So, the only person who could have gotten that floor plan was...
I don't really understand the purpose of only a security guard having access to, like, a records room. That feels weird. If it makes sense to me to have, like, also a security guard have access to it, but, like, he's most likely not going to be the person who most often needs to access records for any particular reason.
Peacekeeper Director Yomi.
The anonymous person who gave Chief Yako the floor plan and pushed him to commit murder was... you! The director of the Peacekeepers! Yumi Hellsmile!
That was a really unsatisfying series of alleged discoveries. I thought this would take longer and be more interesting. Hey, Cyber Justin, welcome. Merry nearly Christmas and happy holidays and all that. Devotion says, this game to me kind of follows what I call child's logic. Please elaborate.
You were the mastermind. You were pulling the strings from behind the scenes.
Why has he only got a little bit of red on him?
You instigated the chief to commit murder!
Hey, Anime, welcome to the stream as well.
I never thought someone as empty as me could feel so much emotion.
Catalog your emotions. Yeah, it definitely, Devotion adds to that. Only one key exists, only one killer, only one way of thought. Yeah, what actually bothers me more than that, because I would say that, like, Phoenix Wright, which I think does a similar style of, like, logic puzzle in a way that's typically a lot more satisfying. And that game often starts with that as, like, a proposed way of thinking and makes it clear that, like, your job as defense attorney is to, like, dismantle that to show that there are other possibilities. It's not always, like, totally flawless in its execution, but, like, it mostly succeeds at that, and that makes sense. Is like, the prosecutor's gonna want to say that, like, the only way it could happen is the way that they suggest it happens, and then you just prove that it's not true. Like, it makes a certain amount of internal sense. The thing I take issue with in this game is that it doesn't do that necessarily at the start of the case. Sometimes it does, or sometimes it does it at the start and then later on. But the thing that annoys me is, like, that's not a good argument for, like, hour 5 of a 5-hour investigation, is to be like, well, that's the only way to do it. It's like, I don't, like, there's ways that the key could have been copied, or ways you could pick a lock or whatever. I'm not saying that one of those is definitely true, but, like, the fact that we, like, hinged our entire argument that, like, a person that 30 seconds ago we, like, didn't know their identity at all, we're like, oh, well, I guess it's Yomi Hellsmile, based on the fact that, like, only one person has a key. Like, there are other possibilities. They may not be true, but, like, that's not conclusive. So to me, I agree with you to some extent, Demolition, but for me it's not just that we use that very linear thinking, but it's that this game allows that thinking to be used to try and make the conclusion at the end, rather than being part of the structure of what you have to solve. Because, like, that is fine to me, but, like, being like, well, out of all the people in reality that have ever existed, only one person could be the killer all of a sudden. Like, that's messed up. Like, that's not good reasoning.
This is the first time in my life I felt this angry.
Oh, he's taking all the red from Yomi Hellsmile's typical character model. That's what's happening.
How did you do it?
Oh, it's gone now.
What did you do to drive the chief to murder? Answer me!
I can tell you, no, we're not done with this game yet. In fact, I think we have one more case after this. But we're trying to wrap up this current case so that we can do that final case in the new year and not have to try and remember weird details later, because this game loves its obscure details.
I'm not telling you anything, idiot.
Huh?
So what if you figured it out? Who cares? It's too late now, you pathetic ingrates.
Honestly, and I don't know, there's still a chance we could be headed here. I feel like this is a more interesting scenario if this dude isn't actually Anonymous. Because, like, Anonymous is the guy who's trying to help the doctor escape. Like, it'd be interesting if Makoto was the one trying to help the doctor escape, and this guy, like, went all in on trying to, like, sabotage that plane and kill the doctor only because he hates Makoto so much that he, like, wanted to thwart that plan. But I'm pretty sure that we've implied that Makoto actually wanted to keep the doctor around, so that's probably not going to happen.
Everyone died just as I planned. Now no one can stand in my way.
I don't know. I think there's still the potential for us to reap you, which is, like, bad for you. Hey, this would be, like, the first legitimate time that, like, the rules of the Mystery Labyrinth would get us out of trouble. Because, like, accomplices have been vulnerable to the reaping before. So, like, if we kill this guy, he's not gonna arrest us, because he's gonna be dead. It only took us most of the game to figure out a single way that this magical power, whose rules we contrived ourselves within our writing, could actually save the day.
No one can lay a hand on me. You should be grateful.
Touch his face.
I'm cleaning up this city.
Nah.
What did you say?
Master, I hate to admit it, but Yomi's right. You can't do anything to him here.
Wow, we went from mild high of the game finally using its own rules correctly to immediate crushing disappointment of this game failing to use its rules correctly, even in a scenario which finally made sense.
Why not?
He manipulated Fuzzhead from behind the scenes, but he wasn't the one who murdered the doctor.
I have a problem with this reasoning. I know it's a slightly different situation, but I really feel like the high school murder case demonstrated that, like, you didn't have to be directly responsible for a murder in order to be reaped in the Mystery Labyrinth. Like, again, I understand it's slightly different because they all sort of collaborated to make their target die, but, like, I just don't think there's enough of a clear line to say that that makes sense and this doesn't. Like, if this man is responsible for someone else committing a murder they wouldn't have done of their own accord, then I feel like he is sufficiently culpable in the murder to be killed by the Mystery Labyrinth.
This Mystery Labyrinth is for the murder of Dr. Huesca. You can't punish Yomi.
I think, and take this as you will, I think this is the moment where I finally decided how I feel about this game. And spoiler alert, it's not hugely positive.
Then what can we do? He has to pay for what he did!
We can't do anything! That's why I'm freaking out too!
So, exposing the truth would be pointless?
I guess we'll all go get milkshakes instead then.
Then why have we been seeking it all this time?
Great. You know what? This guy would be great at Cinema Sins or whatever. The thing where the character accidentally says the question that the viewer has and there isn't a satisfying answer to it. And he says, I think the writers have hoped you would have forgotten the second case so you don't question the logic. I mean, it may also... It's genuinely potentially possible that the cases were written by different people because they have, like, not just, like, different elements, but they kind of have different feels to the way the Mystery Labyrinth works. So, like, it may just be the case that they were, like, done independently somehow and that, like, they didn't, like, talk to each other about it.
The truth is meaningless. I'm in charge in Kanai Ward.
Okay, again, I've truly belabored this point, but the fact that this statement has been true the entire game and we haven't acted like it in almost every possible case continues to annoy me, especially in its current application of this is the only time that shouldn't be true. This is finally the one instance where that shouldn't matter. This is the time we should be able to get away with, like, being a detective in a town where being a detective is like an executable offense. We finally found it and the game's like, haha, got you! For no reason at all, that isn't the case.
I have to laugh. Who could have guessed things would go so well? Yako Furio was a pain in the ass. The only reason I kept him alive is for this moment.
There's something about the distortion on his voice that makes him sound like Michael Cera to me. Anyone else?
He didn't even realize I was manipulating him into killing the doctor for me. How stupid can you be?
Gahahaha. Gahahaha.
You'll pay for this.
Master, time's up. The Mystery Labyrinth is about to be
This is so stupid! This is the dumbest thing that's happened in this whole entire game!
If only we had found out what he was up to sooner. we might have been able to stop him.
What? In what way?
Still, I should be able to bring this memory back into the real world. I'll remember this confession. I'm not sure if it'll help, but I'll interrogate him once we return to the real world.
I'm pretty sure you've told me that's not how your power works.
It doesn't matter. I'll cover it all up. You're all nothing but scum beneath my feet. I'm untouchable.
Unless we, like, trick him into, like, murdering someone, like, right after we return to the real world, we're still pretty much effed, right? Like...
And now, I'm gonna dispose of you, like the trash you are!
The cleaning lady will come on Tuesday. Step perception must be terrible. No, he's got a special condition. Those square eyes, they allow him to see through hair. Boy, I gotta tell you, I wasn't expecting a satisfying conclusion to this case, but I still find myself incredibly disappointed by that. That, like, I don't think you could have done anything to make that less satisfying beyond, like, the effort to make it just as, like, essentially random. To, like, literally just be like, someone off screen who you've never seen before killed that man. Like, that would be worse. But, like, in order for it to have, like, any bearing on our investigation at all, like, that's pretty much the worst that could have gone. All right, now how do we not get shot to death?
Hey, hurry up! Execute these scumbags immediately. Criminals have no rights.
You will pay for this!
Are we going to learn that coalescence isn't actually our forte, and our forte is to, like, kill this guy with our mind?
Well, I don't care. You're all going to die now.
This is real bad, Master. He's serious.
Again, the problem I have with this is that this has been true the whole game, and this is the only time it shouldn't be true.
We know all about your secret dealings with Dr. Weska.
Vivia!
What?
Where did he get a
You
whip
say
from?
something? Maybe I'll kill the loudest one of you first.
Where did he get the whip
Say,
from?
Go ahead. I can't hear you. Come on, who wants to be the first to die?
Damn it!
Forget it. I guess I'll just kill both of you at the same time.
This guy isn't listening to a thing we say. If he was the real culprit, I'd boot kill him.
It's all going exactly how he wants.
He talks too much and never follows
Didn't
through.
help anything.
I've heard a similar quote before, Demolition.
Goodbye. Hope you enjoy the worst nightmare of your life as you die.
The only one who will be having nightmares is you.
Nani?
He's talking way too long, and none of
You.
it sounds true at all.
Thought you
Yeah,
were back
something
to
like
the
that.
Surface. What are you doing here?
Well, Yomi, there's something I want you to see.
Did Makoto get, like, surveillance footage of him taking stuff out of the
What do you
top
think
secret
of
room?
this?
It's probably, like, a murderable offense. His cloak is a bottomless bag for his whip. I guess. I mean, it does kind of seem like characters in this game have hammer space. Whip isn't the most outrageous thing to pull out. Why do we need to load? We're in the same shot. I thought we would be, like, going somewhere else.
How did you get that?
Most of the secret deals you've been making over the years are listed here.
I feel like if you had this, you probably shouldn't have let multiple people die.
Looks like someone's been cooking the books. You conspired with Dr.
In the
Weska
books?
and leaked Amaterasu's technology to other national enterprises.
To be clear, cooking the books is a specific expression that talks about, like, doctoring financial records, doesn't it? That's my understanding. I don't feel like that's what is contained in that binder.
And with the money you obtained, you bribed the right people to control this city.
No, he's just in charge of the police. He doesn't need to bribe anyone. That reasoning genuinely doesn't make any sense. Like, why would he need that? There's, like, one person in the city who outranks him, and it's this guy with the mask. Literally everyone else is, like, subject to his, like, martial law. does this game or Japan like not understand how like authority works at all? And he says, yeah, the guide I read to figure out how much we had left mentions you survive a high degree of Deus Ex Machina I've ever seen. Yep. I mean, this is like a serious like, I have little gripes here and there about this game. Where we're at now, this is major, don't get me wrong. But the point I want to make here is that, like, definitely a major problem throughout this game is that, like, you constantly only survive through plot armor. Which is, like, if you make, like, a really exciting dramatic thing happen, and the only way out is plot armor, sometimes that can be okay. A lot of the time, it's just kind of like a cheap way to get out of a problem you didn't think through enough that your writing has a solution to it. But the fact that, like, you keep finding yourself in life and death situations, and, like, the rules of the game sort of suggest that even if you win, you die, and then you still somehow survive, like, every single time is, like, really annoying. Like, let me see if I can, like, crystallize this for you. Because, like, we're like 90% of the way towards there being like a coherent way that this game works. But what we're missing is that we, the writing staff, we created the rules for how the Mystery Labyrinth works. We didn't create rules that actually made the story work. So the problem is that we needed to change the rules and have them be consistent and have them actually get us out of trouble. Because we made up, like, we're not talking about the laws of physics here. The Mystery Labyrinth is a thing that we created ourselves for this game. It simply should solve these problems. Like, that's the core issue here.
Lies! You made that all up! Hey! I don't care if he is the CEO. Arrest this masked freak! We can't let this outsider barge in here and take control of this city! Capture him, execute him, chop his head off, crush his skull! What's wrong? Why are you just standing there?
I activated their loyalty chips.
If you're scared, then I'll offer a bounty. Whoever kills him gets 100 million shin!
It's unclear how much that is. I think that's like a month's worth of coffee or something.
Won't you obey me?
Did everyone go deaf all of a sudden?
He's using false information to tear the Peacekeepers apart. You want that? You'll all be out of a job!
That's not strictly true. If you put someone loyal in your position in the Peacekeepers, then they would still have their jobs, because, like, presumably the Peacekeepers serve, like, a function here.
Conway Ward is better off without people like him! This city's fallen into ruin ever since he showed up! Now follow my orders! This city doesn't belong to him. It belongs to me, the great Yumi!
It's just not how corporate structure works. So it says, because of the mask, how are we sure he's the CEO? Well, you couldn't possibly put, like, a voice changer in a mask, right? That's never happened in one of these games before.
I'm sorry, Director Yomi. This city doesn't belong to anyone.
Wait a minute.
You... Martina, you're alive?
This lady is supposed to be a beautiful human cube. My understanding of reality has been shattered and compromised.
Makoto stopped the execution order you issued. I am here today thanks to him.
Look, I don't understand. I'm, like, genuinely really struggling with this. So, like, if Yomi Hellsmile is understood to be working against the will of the people, and there are people who outrank him, why is he still in charge of the Peacekeepers at all? Like, shouldn't they just have, like, at least ousted him from the position, if not, like, executed him from some, like, authoritarian standpoint? Like, why are we letting this farce go on? Like, at this point, we've genuinely reached a point where, like, the plot has started to become farcical.
Martina is right. Kanai Ward belongs to everyone who lives here. It doesn't belong to you!
Shinigami?
Probably best to stay quiet and watch for now.
Did that whip knock Vivia completely unconscious? There's a distinction, Castle. I mean, I'll admit that I'm not an expert on, like, the true definition of farce or exactly what makes something farcical. But, like, my sort of understanding is that, like, when, like, everything is sort of, like, preordained and, like, no agency matters in a story, that sort of makes it farcical. Of, like, we killed off this character, but it's fine because she survived, and then she showed up to make this point, and this guy didn't have any power anyway, so it doesn't matter that he's been hunting us down the whole time. Like, that makes it farcical, whereas up till now, it's just kind of been bad writing. Like, there wasn't, like, an explanation before, so it was, like, a massive plot hole. But, like, now we filled the plot hole with the concept that, like, for some reason, we all just decided to go along with the idea that he was in power even though he wasn't. Guard 29, please consider a diet. Guard 29 is the guy who, like, likes to be tortured, right? Wasn't he the one from the school? We had to, like, interrogate him in disguise or something?
I won't stand for this. You're a member of the Peacekeepers. I won't allow such insubordination!
You literally ordered for her to be turned into beautiful human cubes. Why would she continue to be obedient to you in any way?
Director Yomi, there's something I'd like to say to you.
Weep grana weep ninny bomb?
You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to consult with a lawyer.
What?
This is so much worse than just killing him in the Mystery Labyrinth. Like, I can't tell you how much worse this is. Because, like, it was the one time that the plot device finally made sense. If we just did it that way, then, like, we could have gotten out of trouble, and it would have felt like we did something. But, like, every time we finish a case, we learn the truth, and it doesn't matter, because we need someone else to actually enforce it. And the whole point is that we're up against the force of authority in the city.
Your reign is over, Yomi Hellsmile. Now, everyone, arrest the offending suspect. Please, do not be too rough. Even criminals have rights.
Damn it. Damn you! Mark my words, you masked bastard! Yomi Hellsmile will be back! And when I am, I'll kill you! I'll rip you to pieces for taking everything from me! You're all dead! I'll kill every last one of you!
As we discussed before, upon receiving his punishment, I hereby resign from my role in the Peacekeepers.
You don't have to.
I must. This is my way of taking responsibility as his accomplice. Well, Chief Executive Makoto, I hope you will see to the rest.
Ocean says, don't death threat the person who has the power over your life. Yeah, listen, I think we're beyond anyone in this game making good, sound judgments. And he says, it feels like she had a complete 180 on her personality. Yeah, I actually mind that less than most of the other stuff going on. Because, like, I genuinely believe that, like, she was kind of drunk on some combination of, like, the authority of being, like, second in command of the Peacekeepers and also, like, in a romantic entanglement with the person who's in charge of the Peacekeepers and being, like, so disillusioned by his order to execute her that she had to, like, re-examine how she got there and, like, take some responsibility. It's, like, one of the first times that we've had, like, actual character growth in this game, and it's a villain, which also feels like it's a bad sign, to be honest with you. Poor Amapel still plugged into the door. Yeah, he's just been sitting there, huh? It's really awkward.
Sorry for causing so much trouble. That should settle things for now.
I just, like, it's annoying to me because, like, ever since, like, a couple cases ago, when Makoto said that he was CEO of Amaterasu, it's felt like this, like, major plot hole that, like, this thing that just happened should have been able to happen at any time. And now, it just happens at this time that it, like, stops us from being shot to death. But, like, somehow it only draws into focus even more clearly how, like, intensely badly all the scenario writing has been up to this point. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Vivia. He got whipped once. It seems like it would be pretty challenging to whip someone once and render them unconscious for this period of time. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that either, to be fair.
What's going on?
While the Peacekeepers had their hands full with the lab incident, I snuck into Yomi's room and looked around.
Are you indicating to me that you also had access to the room that Yomi got the map from? Because if so, that makes you a suspect in the murder of Dr. Weska.
And there, I found this file. It's all thanks to you.
Don't tell me. You meant to bring us here to be a decoy from the start?
Yeah, this guy's not your friend, just FYI. I mean, I'm pretty sure you didn't understand that, which is troubling to me, but, like, you guys are, like, using each other, and you're not cool.
It was all just a series of coincidences.
Looks like I wasn't able to die once again. Well, at least things worked out.
Well, at least I think I safely have my thumbnail. It's gotta be this, right? I wasn't able to die once again, but at least things worked out.
That was really dangerous. I thought you were done for, Master.
Okay, let's talk to him, I guess.
I'm sorry about what happened to Chief Yako.
I don't believe that at all.
With Yomi gone, there's a change in the winds of Kanai Ward.
It's a stinky, sulfurous wind.
Even through the endless downpour, I will rebuild this city from the ground up.
So, like, nobody's ever gonna talk about the cause of the rain. No one actually seems to care about it. It seems like Amaterasu had to be responsible, but, like, no one seems to know, including Amaterasu, and they don't care.
Because I love this city more than anyone else.
I see.
By the way, how did your investigation at the secret lab go? Did you find what you were looking for?
No. I have to say no to that one.
You know, the so-called immortal monster, the homunculus.
Honestly, again, this annoys me because, like, we spend the entire mystery labyrinth refusing to acknowledge the potential possibility that a homunculus could have survived the death traps. And then, like, the game just sort of points out, we came here to sort of investigate that possibility. So why did we discount it so heartily? I mean, this goes back to Demolition's, like, linear thinking argument of, like, they're like, well, a normal person would just die in toxic gas. It's like, right, but we came here looking for information about something that we call the immortal monster, the homunculus. It might be possible that an immortal monster might not die to normal human stuff. Got super sidetracked thanks to whoever put Yomi on the board. Yeah, but Yomi's just always been on the board, and it's never made any sense why he didn't kill us. And now we'll never get an explanation, because we just decided to stop having that be true. Ocean says, again, key on a string solves 90% of these traps. Kind of. I know what you're saying. It's mostly correct.
No, I didn't find anything.
That's also a good point. Demolition says, I'm more interested in how it happened scientifically. Like, Never-Ending Rain would have potential to generate, like, unlimited power. Yeah, I feel like you could set up, like, a perpetual motion device if you could rely on force coming from the sky. It might not be a ton, but it would give you something. Maybe you could accumulate that power into some other thing that would generate power or something or something.
Maybe homunculi are just rumors. But let me know if you'd still like help in your search. If it's within my power, I'll permit you detectives to search anywhere in Kanai Ward.
Take off your mask!
Thanks.
Well, I need to get going. You should return to your friends.
I feel like if Makoto was serious about wanting, like, justice and peace and whatever for Kanai Ward because he loves it more than anyone, like, shouldn't he just, like, make the detectives part of the peacekeepers? Like, with Yomi Hellsmile, like, disgraced, it doesn't seem like there's any benefit to him for us to be a separate organization.
I'm sure they're worried about you.
And he says, also, a proper couple of security cameras would have solved this case in an instant. Yeah, I mean, I'll grant you that I understand a certain type of logic that's like, why would you set up a security camera if you assume everyone's gonna die in the death hallway? But also, if we're gonna spend all that much money on a super death hallway, like, what's another couple hundred to get like a moderate security camera in like the opening and closing hallways? You might want that information if it's supposed to be super highly secure or whatever.
Plus, you need to tell everyone what happened to Fuzzhead.
Shit doesn't exist here. Yeah, I sort of touched on this the last time we were in here, of like, no one thought to consider the fact that she's so blown out that she's just like non-existent. As you point out, she has crown and mouth, which is just a terrible disease. Please keep yourself safe in this sickly winter season from crown and mouth disease.
Oh, one more thing. I have a gift for you, my friend. To express my
He's gonna
gratitude.
propose!
A gift?
Kanai Ward will be reborn, thanks to you.
Oh, it is a badge. He's gonna try and merge us into
Haven't
the
done
whatever.
anything.
No, that's not true. Please, accept the gift. We're friends, aren't we?
I hope it's one of those, like, spring snakes that people put in cans of peanut brittle that don't exist for any purpose other than to have a spring snake in them.
Oh, but don't open it yet. It's a bit of a surprise.
When should I open it?
Sure. Okay.
See you later.
Look, he is back!
Yeah, Chief's dead. We're going home.
Are you alright? We saw a bunch of peacekeepers heading that way.
Anyway, says, pretty sure it's a bomb again. Man, wouldn't that be spectacular if it was just like a homing device for like another missile to blow up the sub that like Makoto himself spent a bunch of money to recreate perfectly in a super confusing manner? Like, he just wanted us to help get Yomi out of office in some way that he should have been able to do himself. But like, once that was done, he's like, yeah, I don't really need these guys poking around. I am actually up to some shady stuff of my own. So just take this tracking device and go home, sleep on it or whatever.
Well, how did the investigation go?
The case is closed.
Closed? Really?
I see. I'm relieved to hear that.
Hang on.
Now
Bad
the
news
chief
too.
can rest without any regrets.
Rest? Wait. Do you mean the chief?
Was super sleepy.
Wait, you're joking, right?
He passed away quite a while ago.
Then why were you doing CPR when we came in here? What the heck? I was doing that just because I didn't want you to panic.
I was hoping he would live until Yuma and the others returned, but there was nothing we could do.
A while ago? And that means he was dead before the Mystery Labyrinth.
Oh, good. So we're not technically responsible for killing him or whatever. But I guess somehow his soul can still be trapped in the Mystery Labyrinth? It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules adjacent?
No, it can't be. Chief Yako, please, tell me you're only sleeping. I will turn back time now, so please, open your eyes.
We all know that's not how that works. I'm really sorry, Fubuki.
Stop it. There's no need to keep pestering the chief.
But...
I wish I could do something too. But he's dead. As a detective, you should... Don't sob like a baby. I want to cry too, but...
I think it really says something about the writing of this game that I didn't have like a super strong emotional response to like Yuma or Vivia being like wrecked by the chief's betrayal. Like, I understand how it's supposed to be dramatic, but I just didn't feel like it was earned, and so it like didn't hit me the way it was intended. But like hearing Fubuki cry because I like actually care about that character, I'm like, no. It's just that's just like a really intense cry. Demolition says, use your disguise powers to become the chief. Yeah, we should do that thing from I always forget what the movie is. Is it Beer Fest? Where like a character dies and is replaced by his twin brother and he tells them to call him by the same name and not to worry because he remembers everything that happened because his brother like told him everything the whole time or something. Like we should do that, but like replace Desahiko, who sucks, with like with Yakko, and then we're in great shape.
Was he already dead? Or was it due to the mystery labyrinth? We'll never know.
It pretty much doesn't matter. Hey, Haggis. Merry almost Christmas to you as well. It's the sad part of the game, or so they tell me.
I think I'll head home now. My business here is done.
He says that, but he's gonna take a stop at the restroom before he goes.
He's like an emotionless robot.
Hey, give him a break. He experienced the most anger he ever felt today or something.
Vivia. We should head back too. With the chief, of course.
We'll do a whole weekend at Bernie's thing. That'll cheer us all up. What a delightful little fellow I have on me. Thanks! It's my holiday group. I got him in Disney World right before the pandemic hit. I have like a regular Groot that I've like sometimes had on stream, but this one has the little Santa hat on him and thus he is superior. I also have a little baby Yoda, which I'm realizing now I don't immediately remember where I left him, but he's somewhere. I think he's in the Squirtle bag. Now we're hanging out in the sad place that Yakko loved.
How are you gonna let this get you down?
It's a weird sign back there. It's similar to that one early in the game at the train station that felt like it was multiple languages. I feel like that's happening again.
I know you're shocked that Buzzhead was the culprit. But you and I solved it together, so shouldn't we be celebrating?
I'm really annoyed because, like, not only did I not find the reveal that, like, Yomi was anonymous, like, at all satisfying because it was done in this, like, really sloppy, rapid, illogical way, but, like, we still don't, like, really have a clear set, like, we don't know who that woman was in the photo with him, and we don't know, like, what information, like, coerced Yakko into doing the crime. And we don't, like, really know what his motive was. Like, I get big picture what happened, but, like, I want small picture, because we're supposed to care about Yakko, and so we should care about, like, what motivated him to become the culprit in one of our cases. Like, it's not satisfying for the game to be like, but a bad guy did it, but of course we had to kill the boss off. But a bad guy's really responsible. But, like, feel bad that he betrayed you, but it was also a bad guy. Like, it's just, it's like trying to have it both ways in this irritating fashion.
Solved it? Yes, we did learn the truth. But it didn't resolve anything. What's the point of solving something if it doesn't save anyone? In the end, we still don't know why the chief did it. How could you even consider it solved?
Well, at least the game's aware of it.
I understand why you're
Yeah, I
upset.
see they have a pal ad too.
All right,
I think it's been in the game before.
Yuma,
It's Kurumi Wendy!
I thought you'd be here.
Hi, Kurumi Wendy.
Kurumi.
I constantly forget that she has a reverse 999 strawberry on.
Hey, I just promised I'd give him some alone time!
Are you sure you should be walking around alone at this hour?
She's the city's only informant. She's probably immune to random violence or something.
I heard about Chief Yakko. Hey, Yuma. Did we make a mistake? If we didn't try to find that secret lab, Maybe Chief Yako would still be alive.
Nah, he pretty much went on a known suicide mission, and it wasn't because of anything we did. It was unrelated.
I don't know if what we did was right or wrong. But
Is
either
that
way, I
in
think
the-
it would have ended like this eventually.
In the background on that bridge, is that like a train, like a subway train or something that's just motionless? Like, what is that? Is it just like a closed tunnel and those are supposed to be windows, but they look like they have sheet metal behind them? I don't understand what I'm looking at.
I'm glad to see that you've returned safely.
Thank you.
To tell the truth, while you were at the lab, I looked into Chief Yako's past a bit.
These are supports for the underside of a bridge. They don't look like the underside to me. They look like they're on top of struts.
Huh?
I was just curious. Do you remember that talk on the submarine?
There's a sentence.
To me, this town is my life. My bitter past, my fun memories, they're all right here. I just wanted to protect the happiness I found within arm's reach. But it wasn't easy. It was too much for me to handle on my own. And as a result, I lost everything. I was an empty shell until you all came along.
But we didn't rejuvenate his life because he just constantly hated that we were doing our jobs. Like, there's this tension with this character that frustrates me because he really could have been a good character that's set up for this, like, great plot twist in this case. And I just feel like they botched almost every possible angle they could have used.
In short, the chief lost his wife 4 years ago. She was a researcher at Amaterasu's lab.
Did he, like, encourage her to investigate shady dealings and she got killed and he blamed himself and he didn't want to investigate anymore?
The chief's wife was an Amaterasu researcher?
On top of that, his wife's death was declared an accident. But there seems to be more to the story. At the time, the lab's head researcher was suspected of leaking technological information. It was the chief's wife that blew the whistle. If what she said was true, he would have been removed. But on the day before the commission came to investigate, an experiment went wrong and exploded, killing her.
It's obvious that someone was trying to silence her.
Yeah, Chief Yako probably suspected that too. He was conducting his own investigation. In the end, I don't know what conclusion he reached.
So that's who the chief
Natural
wanted
causes.
to protect most. It's what he meant when he said he lost everything.
Yeah.
And the person his wife accused was...
Weska?
Weska.
Dr. Weska.
Do you know who that is?
No, it doesn't ring a bell. It's getting late. Let's head back to the detective agency.
Let's never speak of this again.
The chief's final words. I think they were actually meant for himself.
Yeah, the truth is cruel. Never in history has the truth been known to be kind. But you know what? Turning your eyes away from the truth and living a lie is harsh too. In the end, you can never look away from the truth. As long as you live, you must face that pain.
Wait, I wasn't paying attention to that. She did just say Weska, didn't she? And then he said doctor and was like, nah.
So really, what's the point of worrying so much about it?
That's stupid.
When you're lost, believe in your own heart. That way, even if things end up all wrong, at least you can stand proud.
Yeah, okay, listen. I know that Japanese is an indirect language that's less prone to like a snippy, witty whatever. Especially when translated into another language. But like they have referenced this like soliloquy like 4 times, and like by the end of it I've already like forgotten the meaning of it. Like every single time. I mean, in fairness, she was talking about like a laboratory. One might naturally assume doctor, but you know, definitely not necessarily the case.
But I think he was wrong. Because Everyone is mourning you, Chief. Chief, I've made up my mind. No matter how cruel it may be.
Hey, look, he has like a cool, determined look on that we've never seen before. That's almost character development.
I will expose the truth hidden in this city.
Hey, did you come up with this dish yourself? I've never had anything so tasty.
I completely forgot whatever the deal was. I remember that at the start of this case, we like stalked this guy to like a ramen stand. Then we like overheard him talk about something that didn't seem important. And then he was like, all right, stop listening to me. And then like we went and looked for the secret lab. Oh wait, Ditto, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Cooking is all I'm really good at, after all.
Nice to be good at something, huh?
Are you hungry? Can I make you something at the agency?
Well, I guess I haven't eaten in a while.
What? This Splatty is gonna mix something dangerous into your food.
Why? Why would she do
I
that?
suggest you stay far away. Mm-hmm.
Did he hop out of an anime? Those portraits? I mean, they definitely feel like they don't belong in this particular world, huh? This is the secret ingredients for human meat cubes. I have terrible news for you, Ditto. We no longer have any reason to believe that any human has been made into a human cube. Beautiful or otherwise.
Alright. What should I make? I need to cheer you up.
Oh, I hope we order some delicious human cubes. And saving circle is chugging along. Have you missed anything? Yeah, so, you know, at the end of last stream, I don't know if you made it all the way to the end of last stream, we sort of got to a point where we, like, proved that Yakko was the one who killed Dr. Weska. And then there was like, but we haven't solved all the mysteries. And that amounted to, like,
Go ahead and make something in the kitchen.
2 rounds of reasoning deathmatch, during which we proved that Yomi Hellsmile was the person who orchestrated Yakko to do crimes by nature of he had the only key to the records room, even though the information that came from the records room wasn't in any way instrumental to the crime. So it was very, very stupid. Then, even though we had proven that he was basically the cause of the murder, Shinigami told us that for plot reasons, him being guilty of the murder didn't mean that he was guilty of murder, and so he couldn't kill him using the power of the Mystery Labyrinth, and I got very, very upset about it. And then we returned to the real world, and since we weren't able to kill him using the Mystery Labyrinth, Yomi was like, I'm going to shoot you myself with 2 guns at the same time! And then Makoto just showed up and was like, but I have a folder of documents that say you're a bad guy. Arrest him, please! And he was like, no, you can't do that. And then Martina Electro, was that her name? She just like walked in and was like, I'm still alive for some reason, but I'm also retiring. Goodbye, everyone. And that's pretty much where we're at now, for the most part. So that's what you missed, and it took a really long time because we've been very anime about it.
She seems rather considerate. She's a nice girl.
Yeah.
I wish he'd be more considerate to me.
Is Vivi gonna like start talking to Shinigami because he doesn't have to hide it anymore? Why do we have a glowing keep out sign on our submarine? I'm afraid no cubes at all, Ditto. I was upset too.
Yuma, does light shine into your world now that you've obtained the truth?
Nah, man, it's been raining for 3 years. Why does no one seem to remember this other than me?
I don't know. It's like you said. I feel as though the world's ended.
That's a different game, and it's also very unsatisfying. Other than the true ending where everyone dies.
I tried so hard to find the truth. Should I not have done that?
You should ask yourself that tomorrow. The you of tomorrow will have an answer for the you of today.
Does it end with you? I've still never played that game. I own a copy of it somewhere. The first one, I think. I think they made a second one, right?
As usual, I'm not quite sure what you mean, Vivia.
No one is. It's fine. And he just stabs us with the X-Acto knife. That'd be a good way to end the case.
It was hidden in a drawer of the chief's desk. It seems like a letter from Anonymous.
Anonymous? You mean Yomi?
Of course, he didn't know Anonymous was Yomi. This letter mentioned the truth behind his wife's death 4 years ago.
This crap is so annoying to me. Like, the whole purpose of the Mystery Labyrinth should be stuff like this. We shouldn't just keep being, like, handed answers to the mystery. It's a mystery-solving game. You shouldn't just, like, give them to me. As much as I don't really love the gameplay of the Mystery Labyrinth, that's its function.
The truth?
It describes how Dr. Weska conspired to murder her. The facts were laid out, cold and calculated. I wonder, how did the chief feel when he read it?
Nauseous?
It's not hard to imagine him burning with a desire for revenge against Dr. Weska.
They have these clues, why act clueless? Elaborate. How do you mean, Demolition? Do you mean, like, why aren't these two telling the others more about whatever? It's actually not clear to me if they told the other detectives if that Yakko did the murder. That whole emotional scene was just them reacting to him being dead.
By the way, this letter arrived right after I was dispatched to Kanai Ward.
That's really weird.
In other words, the motive and means were both in the chief's hands.
So the letter was the trigger.
In my ghost form, I've seen the chief staring at this letter in secret many times.
But obviously ghosts can't read. Skull joke.
Back then, I didn't know what he was reading.
That, and if he had this kind of info, why try to find out other things? He's hiding that he had this letter. You mean Yakko? Like, why was Yakko concealing this? I don't... Maybe he didn't think the others would be sympathetic to him, his willingness to, like, bend the law or something? Vivia. Oh, well, Vivia just kind of sucks, to be honest with you. This is, like, the third time he's implied that, like, he has known information to stop, like, dangerous stuff from happening, and he just, like, chooses not to do it. Like, he has literally said, I think in the Mystery Labyrinth, that he's just been, like, he just, like, decided he didn't want to be bothered or something? He can't read because he's a cat. That might be it, Ditto. Maybe that's Kanai Ward's ultimate secret, is that Vivia is a suicidal cat? But yeah, I mean, like, in a roundabout way, there is an explanation for that, Demolition, and it's that Vivia sucks. I know that he is a fan favorite, and I want to like him, but, like, he kind of sucks. He's no Fubuki, as far as I'm concerned.
But I know the chief was thinking about it constantly. Perhaps the map of the lab was sent together with this letter.
But, like, it still doesn't seem...
If so, then it was a total setup.
I'm sure the chief deeply regretted.
Of course it was a setup. Of course it was a setup.
Part of his
we
crime.
know that.
Or maybe that's just the truth I seek.
Yeah, I think I legitimately agree with that, Demolition. I mean, I might go so far as to include Kurumi Wendy, but, like, Fubuki is definitely my favorite for a variety of reasons. But, like, Kurumi Wendy seems like she's on the straight and narrow. She's, like, trying to find justice. She's willing to put herself in the line of fire to do it. Her interest in Yuma is, frankly, questionable. This is, if I had to live 9 lives in Kanai Ward, I would want to expedite it. You know what? That's true.
Maybe it's nothing more than wishful thinking.
You might be right. I think the chief wavered back and forth the whole time.
Yeah, I agree.
Some people think Vivia is cold-hearted, but I think he cared deeply for the chief. He really did admire him.
I struggle with this because he never did anything like worthy of admiration, really. Not that we're aware of. I mean, like, before his wife died, he was probably like a pretty legit detective if the WDO made him a full-fledged detective without having a forte. But, like, in the entire time that Vivia would have known him, like, the only thing he's ever done is to tell us to please stop solving mysteries. It's inconvenient. Like, that's been, like, almost the sole, like, dialogue note he's had in, like, every conversation he's been in.
Well, I think he's terrible at showing it. He needs to work on his facial expressions at the very least.
By the way, Yuma. Yomi definitely was the mastermind who worked in the shadows to put this together.
Okay.
With that aside, there's one more person I'm curious about.
You mean Makoto Kagutsuchi?
Yeah, props.
Do you think it was a coincidence he brought me to the lab today?
Nah.
Or... Oh, the phone.
How do you get a landline on a submarine? You know what? Don't answer that.
It's a call from the WDO. We should go back inside.
Oh, this makes sense. We kind of needed something from the WDO to, like, spin us into what I'm presuming is the last case. Because, like, if the WDO doesn't factor into the last case, then it probably didn't need to be in this game at all.
I know about Yako Furio. Who could have suspected that a proud detective of the WDO would commit murder?
He doesn't know anything.
If only the World Detective Organization had sent support to Kanai Ward sooner.
Stop it. There's no point in saying that now.
I can hear you. Enough idle talk. Focus. The only thing a detective must do is solve cases. Concentrate on solving mysteries. Emotions will only shackle you as a detective.
Also, as a detective, you don't need to, like, eat or perform biological functions of any kind. I've decreed it. Isn't that cool?
Emotions must be discarded to reach a perfect solution through a perfect deduction. I know you're suffering from the loss of your chief, but the investigation must continue. Until Kanai Ward's ultimate secret is revealed, the great global mystery will never be solved. These are heavy responsibilities. It demands your complete attention.
What is Halara holding? Is that like a tiny donut?
In that case, please tell us. What is the great global mystery? Many master detectives have already been killed. Keeping us in the dark could lead to more deaths. Like what happened to our chief.
Very well. The great global mystery is...
New signal?
A mass kidnapping case.
What?
Huh? Kidnapping?
Yes. Countless people from around the world have been kidnapped and taken to Kanai Ward. We are searching for the heinous criminal responsible.
Heinous crimes go to the SVU. I know that one.
Heinous criminal? Lots of people have been taken to Kanai Ward?
Are we them?
But where could they gather that many people in this city?
Well, I have an idea.
Oh, the round thing was supposed to be the receiver, but it didn't look like it was attached to... It just looked like she had, like, a round thing in her fingers.
Huh? Seriously?
Halara seems to know something. You'd better go have a chat, Master.
Why is this not just a cutscene? Why do I have to go over here and talk to her?
The restricted area. They could gather all the kidnapped people there.
Yeah, I mean, that seemed like the logical conclusion, because I don't know why we would have established it at the start of this case otherwise.
You're right. That would be the perfect place to hide them.
I was planning on discussing it later, but there is some new information about that place. It appears that the restricted area does in fact have a corpse disposal facility.
Weird. Don't be misled, Ditto. This is the great global mystery, is the vanishing, the kidnapping of people being brought to Kanai Ward. Kanai Ward's ultimate secret is something else that may or may not be related to a bunch of people being kidnapped and brought there. They may be used as a resource for some sort of Philosopher's Stone in the effort to create an unkillable homunculus monster. Oh, Angel, thank you for gifting us up to Ditto. Have one of these.
However, there are lots of rumors about the restricted area.
They say that the restricted area has been going steady with Nancy Weathers for 9 years.
For example, they even say it's a corpse disposal facility where bodies from Kanai Ward are dumped off.
I guess is where do the Patriots play into all this? Well, you know, if you really know about the Lale Lule Lo, then it all becomes pretty, you know, self-evident, I think.
What? That rumor was true?
In Kanai Ward, corpses rot easily due to the humidity from the rain, so they are quick to retrieve bodies. The corpses are then loaded onto trucks and transported to the restricted area for disposal. But that process is managed by a department with a handful of people working directly for Amaterasu's CEO. On top of that, they are only involved in transportation. They aren't aware of what happens afterwards. How the bodies are buried
Hey, Sarah,
and who
welcome to the
buries
stream.
them is a mystery.
All of this secrecy around the burials. It's suspiciously cautious.
Something Philosopher's Stone, probably.
The CEO is that Makoto guy, right? Does he have something to do with the corpse burials?
But how is the global kidnapping case related to a corpse disposal facility?
These guys really are the worst detectives. I'm not saying that they should have all the answers, but, like, there's a pretty clear possible connection between those two things, huh? If we assemble a mass quantity of bodies via kidnapping, and then we have a large disposal system for bodies, there might be some sort of connection as to maybe they aren't so around anymore.
I know! They are forcing the kidnapped people to bury the bodies!
I love you, Fubuki.
I doubt it. Why bother kidnapping just for that?
Anyway, there's definitely something happening in the city. Something sinister.
Is it the construction of more buildings on a foundation of rock and roll?
We just don't know what it is.
While we're at it, perhaps I should share the information I've obtained as well.
Does that mean... I'm expecting that true to Vivia's form from everything we've established throughout this case, that he's just going to be like, I use my ghost form to fly away like a bird, and I now know the entire nature of the secret, and I can tell you the rest of the game's plot.
Huh? You got something too?
That anemic vampire knows something.
Why is this also not a cutscene?
I don't know if it has anything to do with what's going on here.
Also, I would really like to point out that number one, the guy in charge of the WDO has been on hold this whole time. This is alright, everyone. You are ordered to bury the person to your right. Get to it. That's really hard to enforce.
But while I was using spectral projection to search for the secret lab, I kept hearing about a strange rumor in town. There's a taboo among Kanai Ward's residents. Something they must never discuss in front of outsiders.
Why would multiple people be talking about this?
Taboo?
He's probably the only one who could have
Is it
learned
the
that.
sweetest taboo?
I doubt anyone would mention it in front of detectives.
So what was it about?
The blank week mystery.
Oh, dear God.
The blank week mystery?
Unfortunately, all I know is its name, and that it's taboo to mention it in Kanai Ward.
I mean, that has to have something to do with the rain. I just have to assume.
Huh? That's it? I don't get it.
Well, it does sound ominous.
Clearly, there's some period of time during which no one knows what happened. You guys are the worst detectives. Please stop.
Maybe it has something to do with the mass kidnapping and the restricted area.
But all we have to go on is the term.
The blank week mystery is taboo in Kanai Ward.
First rule, we don't talk about the blank weeks. Second rule, we don't know what happened during the blank week.
I wonder if Kurumi has heard about it. I should ask her after this meeting with number 1.
She's an informant who may be hiding information. If that's true, we'll have to torture the info out of her.
He's talking
The
way too
great
long and none of
global
it sounds true at
mystery,
all.
The restricted area, the blank week mystery, and a
Conai
heinous
Ward's ultimate
criminal
secret.
pursued by the WDO. After coming this far, we're still discovering more mysteries. How are they all connected? What is going on in Conai Ward?
Detectives, listen closely. If this case is ignored, then more people shall end up becoming the victims of this criminal.
Looks like
The
there's
only
text being
ones who can
projected on his
stop it,
glasses.
The only
I can't
ones
read it
are
though.
us detectives. The World Detective Organization will never overlook a mystery. Any and all truths must be exposed, understand? We are aiming, as always, for a perfect solution. And as long as I'm involved in this investigation, I will be the one to guide us toward finding that perfect solution.
Could have tried that earlier.
Our moment of truth is finally at hand. Go forth, proud detectives. Eliminate all mystery.
What?
I know
What's
that's
going
supposed to
on?
be shocking and upsetting, but that's genuinely just funny to me at this point. This is okay, Von Karma.
Number
Lol.
1, I heard
Fair.
an explosion.
Number 1, I
What's
saw you
that?
get dismantled by the
Another
force of an
branch.
explosion. What?
Newsflash. All right, give me the video feed.
We bring you breaking news. The WDO headquarters has been struck by a terrorist bombing. Here's live
Do
footage
they
from
suspect
the scene.
us? That'd be
you
funny.
can see the fierce fire consuming it. For those of you just tuning in,
Terror attack? Hold on. The World Detective Organization? No way. Impossible.
Guess nobody detected that, huh?
What is this? What is happening? Master, this is...
Huh?
Why did we look at his crotch? I thought we were gonna see him wet himself.
What?
The president gave him was a box of knockout gas that could activate itself on command? What on earth?
No. It's gas. Everyone, hold your breath.
I wanna die someday.
Hey, Master!
Nah, he definitely never looked in the box. It's not good that Karumi Wendy saw this and pieced out. I feel like that means that she's maybe in on it. Yeah, but like that was funny, but it wasn't supposed to be funny at all. It's another problem. We did it, everyone. Did she fall? It looked like she came in, saw it happening, and then it looked to me like she just wasn't around in the next scene. Or in the next, like, cut. I don't... Like, the ranking system in this game makes no sense. Whatever, it's fine. We got, like, a trillion points, and none of them matter. Everything is made up. We leveled up twice. I think we can, like, buy a skill we don't have. Save current progress. Why does it matter? Why does what matter? I mean, you could apply that question to, like, practically anything in this game, to be honest with you. Do I need this one? I guess. I guess this one. Are they tied to achievements? Oh, I don't know. I mean, Nintendo games don't have achievements, and as far as I know, this game is only on the Nintendo Switch, so, like, no? I think the answer to that is no. I think I'm gonna just, like, save that there. Because the whole point... I mean, the whole point of this stream was to get Rain Code to a logical stopping point, and then use any additional time for fun space game, which I've been itching to play. So I feel like picking up from that cliffhanger and learning whatever we'll learn immediately after waking up or whatever is probably a better place to start than, like, trying to go any further. Does that make sense? Does that seem right? I feel like that's correct. But I guess technically to answer your question, Demolition, the made-up points matter in the sense that the better you do during the labyrinth, the more the more, like, DP you get, and the more DP you get, the more skills you can unlock in the game to help you do the mystery labyrinth. It's all very circular logic. Yeah, the more you can spend to get like really minor bonuses for the most part, etc., etc. It never seems difficult. It never seems difficult for an intentional skill-based reason. It often seems difficult because they require weird leaps of logic and whatnot. This is the problem I have. It's like a frustrating type of difficulty that is most frequently encountered in this game, where it's just sort of like, I understand what all the clues mean. You need me to make some big leap, and you haven't hinted at it. But yeah, like the actual game mechanics, like it's not super important to get those, which is why you may have noticed me like gradually take it less seriously to get the DP. At first it seemed exciting to get them because I thought the abilities might be like cool, interesting, fun things. But like by the time we reached this case, it was sort of like, I guess I'll look around if I have to. If you never bought anything, would it have made it materially more difficult? There's only one thing that immediately comes to mind, which is I now have something like 5 upgrades, like 4 or 5 upgrades in like reduce the number of distraction keys in reasoning death matches. That might potentially have made it more difficult. It's hard to say without knowing what the distractor keys would have been. If they were all like similar clues, or if they would all just be random and it would still be fairly apparent. I don't know. But I feel like all the others, I mean, like the only other one that I feel like has had a considerable meaningful effect on things is upgrading effectively your HP in the Mystery Labyrinth, because if you increase your HP in the Mystery Labyrinth, I feel like that has the side effect of increasing your score on future Mystery Labyrinths, because I think it factors how much HP you have left rather than how much you've lost. It's like kind of my understanding, but I might just totally be wrong about that. It's a little earlier than I thought. So here's what I think we're gonna do. For the purpose of YouTube, we're gonna wrap this in a minute. If anyone wants to try and find Secret Squirtle, go ahead and put your guesses in, and the first one that is correct, I will reveal. I've hidden multiple. Frankly, you could see one of them because I forgot to check it. That's fun. That's fun for everyone. But yeah, once we do that, we'll wrap this up. We'll pick up Raincoat in the new year. At this point, I think I'm committed to trying to finish it, even though I'm like increasingly disillusioned with the idea that we'll actually accomplish anything that feels justified and worthwhile and whatever. But then we'll tool around a little bit in Cobalt Core to round out the year. Just because it's something I want to do and people seemed into it. And I'm pretty sure I figured out the way to address that visual glitch that was really annoying last time. But yeah, let's go take a look. I'm gonna take this guy off. I might put him back on later. I'm also probably gonna turn on my fan when we cut this video because it's a little warmer here than it probably should be. Hey, I'm not gonna need these. Go away. So I said that I would reveal the Squirtle in the first location that someone got correct. And looking at these. Okay. Guess I'll have to give it to Demolition, as both of these reindeer are helping to conceal the Uber Squirtle, the biggest one. Now, how can I position you to hang out? Big Squirtle hug. And you get back in place, young sir. Now, there are additional Squirtles to be found. Please focus. Focus. Stay with me here. But in order to find their location, you'll have to stick around and or watch the subsequent released video on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I think that'll wrap up Raincoat for the year. Unfortunately, that was not a great note to end on. I had already sort of been disappointed in that case because I thought they undersold the potential that sort of reveal had. And then, God, just everything with Yomi and all of that. And the gas box is just comedy. Like, that can't be serious. Come on. All right. For those of you here for Raincoat, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And I hope to see you again soon. Those of you watching live, stick around. I think we're going to have some fun yet. But anyone who's here just for our visual novel stuff, I'll see you in 2024.